Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. I've been talking about how Seth Meyers goes long ways for jokes. Here's one. Here's how forever wars happen. People in charge just keep asking for a little more time to turn things around. Then the next thing you know, it's been 20 years and you've been in Afghanistan longer than it takes for George R.R. Martin to come up with a new Game of Thrones book. And every time someone suggested withdrawing, the military-industrial complex and foreign policy elite kept insisting if we only gave them a few more months, they could finally turn things around. It's kind of like how as a kid, you'd tell your parents you'd return the movie you rented from Blockbuster tomorrow because if you hadn't finished it yet, and then they'd ask you the next day and you tell them you just have to watch the last 20 minutes. And the next thing you know, you're 47 years old and Blockbuster has $60,000 in late fees for a VHS copy of The Prince of Tides. And there never was a good time to withdraw, which is why no president before Biden was willing to do it. Kind of like how there's never a good time at a pool party to tell someone you can see their butt crack. No one wants to be the guy who interrupts pool volleyball to say, hey, Dave, pull up your swimsuit. Here's a pro tip. If you ever want to pre-record your Sunday podcast and you're like, if I only had one more story, what you do is you go to Google and you type in George Lopez and then you're like, this will make the whole thing. No, it's nothing to do with tacos. The headline from Deadline, George Lopez endorses embattled Gavin Newsom as California governor struggles among Latinos. George Lopez said in an Instagram video, I'm sticking with Gavin Newsom and I'm voting no. He has no problem with you making your own choice. He said, you do what you do and I'll do what I do. Deadline says also endorsing Newsom this week was Twitter savant and Star Trek's Mr. Sulu, George Takei, who posted, it's Gavin Newsom or someone in this clown car of candidates. Vote no for all our sanity. Paula Poundstone also saying, don't forget, California, vote no on the Governor Gavin Newsom recall. We can't take another disaster. Kevin Hart, never afraid to work. He's got another gig. Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg are teaming up for a new Netflix film, says the laugh button. This one is called Me Time and follows a stay-at-home dad, played by Kevin Hart, who finds himself with some me time for the first time in years while his wife and kids are away. He reconnects with his former best friend, Mark Wahlberg, for a wild weekend that nearly upends his life. This film was written by and directed by John Hamburg. I know John Hamburg's mom, Joan Hamburg, a legendary New York radio personality. Hi, Joan. Hamburg previously worked with Kevin Hart on the film Night School, and it's part of Kevin Hart's overall deal with the streamer that will find him starring in and producing 4 films, not unlike Adam Sandler's similar deal, because the world needs more Adam Sandler movies. They're all fantastic. Well, good news. Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston are both expected to return for a sequel to 2019's Murder Mystery. No word on what other cast members will be returning, but the aim is for the film to be fast-tracked and start shooting soon in Paris and in the Caribbean. Yeah, this seems to be an Adam Sandler thing. You make movies, but you pick locations you like, and you get your friends in it. So you're like, hey, David Spade, let's hang out in Paris for a weekend. And yeah, I guess we'll shoot a movie while we're there. Hey, it is smart by Adam Sandler. Movies are terrible, except, of course, Uncut Gems. From Variety, worlds are colliding. Seinfeld star Jason Alexander will guest this upcoming season on The Conners, making him the latest 1990s icon to appear on the Roseanne sequel. Jason Alexander will play Pastor Phil, who's described as an unconventional cleric with a rebel past. He uses humor and unflinching honesty to spread the good word. We'll all meet Pastor Phil when he's the speaker at an AA meeting that Becky attends with Darlene. They're looking for spiritual guidance. Season 4 of The Conners premieres Wednesday, September 22nd on the ABC. Jason Alexander's credits here in the article are getting a little weird. So we know about the big one, right? I won't even say what the big one is. You know where you know Jason Alexander from. I don't have to tell you. But the rest of his resume now is other recent TV guest appearances include The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Drunk History, The Grinder, The Orville, Young Sheldon. Jason Alexander also co-created and starred in Hit the Road, and his voice acting career includes Harley Quinn, Cody Kapow, Duckman, and Tom and Jerry. His film career includes Pretty Woman, Jacob's Ladder, and Shallow Hal. Jason, I hope you socked some money away back in the 1990s. From Chortle, arg, it's 101 clean/naughty jokes in 30 minutes. They say it's a savvy move by Masai Graham to effectively split his Edinburgh show into 2 half hours, one clean, one naughty. That gives him twice the opportunity to shake the donations jar. His shows continue the long tradition of trying to be the first alphabetically in the Fringe program. See, it's ARG, A, I think 6 A's, RGH, even in this year where there's no printed brochure, and that's become a staple of the festival. The content is not exactly a mystery either, though this cheerful comic does have to offer the disclaimer that 101 jokes is not to be taken literally. However, the quips are short enough to pack lots into the 30 minutes, and puns abound, especially in a clean show. We get few insights into his real world beyond the ridiculousness of a 40-year-old doing this as a hobby. Lamenting the visual gags in his bedroom, he offers a brief diatribe about how the care industry in which he works his day job has been ripped to shreds by the Tories. But even that's a setup for another silly joke. He says he's dyslexic, but who can be sure if he's not just in it for the gags? It's not an entirely clean half hour. Graham can't always stop himself swearing, but the content is 12 rated compared to the 18 certificate naughty show. Sounds like a good time. Now from the AV Club, they write, we're not sure if we'll ever understand the sneakerhead subculture. Don't get us wrong. We love a nice pair of shoes as much as the next bipedal human, but the truly dizzying variety, range of quality, and diehard fan base makes the whole endeavor an extremely intimidating hobby to dip one's toes into. That said, we do understand Simpsons subculture, so they are excited there are new Adidas sneakers that are Ned Flanders influenced. Olive and brown suede accented by a pink ankle lining inspired by Flanders' trademark outfit. Each pair arrives in a box featuring an illustration of Flanders. You'll find a picture of these on the AV Club. They actually look pretty cool. I might have to get a pair. That's your comedy news for today. Follow this show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. See you tomorrow.